welcome back to Let's Talk Physical Media. My name is John.
And I'm Faith.
And yeah, Faith's back this week, and we don't really have too much news this week. It was actually pretty slow as far as, new announcements go, but we did get a few. Probably the biggest one was Paramount is going to be releasing Beverly Hills Cop 3 in February on 4K Blu-ray, just to complete the trilogy. We have Beverly Hills Cop 1, Beverly Hills Cop 2. Now we'll have the whole trilogy. This one, again, was directed by John Landis, who directed Coming to America and Trading Places.
Oh, good.
Him and Eddie Murphy had a falling out after Coming to America. So they kind of regrouped, got back together for an atrocious movie. Have you ever seen Beverly Hills Cop 3?
No.
That's the one that's in, basically in Disney World, essentially. I don't remember what the name of the amusement park was, but he's there the entire time. It's just a really bad movie. They are making Beverly Hills Cop 4. Did you see?
I saw that.
You saw Eddie Murphy was on set as Axel Foley?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I saw that.
I feel like I'm going to get disappointed, but we liked Coming to America, the sequel.
It was good. It was alright.
Yeah, that's one thing. I feel like...
Once you have a classic, I don't think you should remake it.
Or make sequels to it, yeah. I get that, but that's kind of like what Eddie Murphy's doing now. Although there's that Christmas movie you wanted to see that's on Amazon we haven't checked out yet.
Yeah, but I like it because it has Tracy Ellis Ross in it, and I like Eddie Murphy. He's funny, so why not?
Eddie Murphy's one of the greatest comedians ever. I just feel like sometimes, especially lately, he's kind of... he's like phoning it in, it almost feels. It doesn't feel like the old Eddie Murphy anymore, like 80s and 90s Eddie Murphy.
He's not that Eddie Murphy anymore.
No,
he changed as
I
people.
know.
And
people can change.
and everything is cheesy now.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these movies that come out, a lot of them are just cheese. So you gotta phone it in a little bit.
I guess, but it's a little bit frustrating, And then we also got announced the movie Darkman is coming to 4K Blu-ray. This is Sam Raimi's first attempt at a superhero movie. This one starred Liam Neeson, came out in the early 90s. It's a good movie. It's coming to 4K. The box art looks really nice on it, so I'm glad that Sam Raimi, another Sam Raimi classic, is going to be coming to 4K Blu-ray, because we don't get too many of those, and I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, because we got to cut loose. Footloose is coming to 4K in February as well. The original one, starring Kevin Bacon. This is a classic tale of a town that just can't dance. And you know what? Kevin Bacon comes in, and he's going to teach him that, you know what? You all don't got to be so miserable and angry. You just got to dance. You just got to cut loose. And like
Always Sunny?
Yeah.
They're not doing dance routines anymore.
We used to settle our problems with dance. And that's the problem now. People just aren't dancing anymore. But yeah, that was really all it is. No big studio announcements this week. It was just kind of little announcements. We've gotten all of our big announcements over the last few weeks. So it's just little announcements. But one thing that was cool is Oppenheimer actually sold out of their 4Ks at a bunch of stores. They had to
that's good.
They had to actually, their Universal's printing more right now, but yeah, it's one of the biggest day and date releases on digital and physical, I think, ever, or at least in a very long time. So,
yeah, because people really, they don't buy movies.
Not like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer really is a special kind of movie this year. It did great at the box office. People, I don't know if it's Nolan that attracts them, but people really love Oppenheimer. Hey, it's my favorite Nolan movie, my favorite movie of 2023. So I understand. The 4K is incredible too. It might be better from what I've heard from people who got to see it in the 70mm IMAX format. It might actually have been better than that. And that's incredible. It's going to go number one on my list probably, unless I see something at the end of this year that really blows me away. But right now, Oppenheimer, leading the pack.
Good.
Yeah, but that was really it as far as physical media news. Not too much. So maybe next week we'll get a little bit more news. But, we're going to dive into the this or that portion of the show.
Oh,
which is
that's me.
That's what Faith Spears heads here on the channel. That's
me. Well... since it is December 1st over here, well, by the time this comes out,
it'll be the 3rd.
But since it's December, we're going to do a Christmas edition movie. For this or that.
So we're going to be talking some Christmas films.
Yeah, I think this is going to kind of turn into a Christmas episode a little bit.
Ooh, I like Christmas. It is our favorite holiday here in this household.
Yeah.
That's where we spring for all the bells and whistles. The rest of the year we kind of cut back a little bit. Once Christmas rolls around, though, that's when where you get the holiday spirit.
Yeah, because that's... we do a little bit of something throughout the year, but we don't really spend too much on each other.
We try and save. Yeah, we don't buy each other really gifts throughout the year too much. It's just really like, hey, Faith already has me. There's nothing I can give her that's already better than that. So, but for Christmas I could try.
Our gift is having a place to live and
that's
having food to eat. So
that is true. We are thankful for the food that we eat. Taco Bell exists in my lifetime. I'm always thankful for that.
Christmas Vacation.
Ooh.
It's a Wonderful Life.
You're a piece of shit. Why would you do that? Like, why would you make me pick between
You're a piece of shit. What?
You're gonna make me pick between my two favorite Christmas movies, and like they're different. Like one is a comedy classic, and It's a Wonderful Life is.
But you know what I want to do with this one is gonna be the ultimate. So whatever stays is gonna battle the next two that I pick.
Okay, I could see what you're saying there. You want to get like a little pyramid going.
Kind of, and then whoever wins.
Well, here's the thing. It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. But it's not as rewatchable as Christmas Vacation, and I can't live without Christmas Vacation. It's just too funny.
Shitter was full!
Yeah. You checked our shitters, honey?
It's one of the funniest movies ever, so I'm going to have to take Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, like I can watch it in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't feel right watching it in the summer,
it
but
feels like Christmas. They captured it. They really did.
It felt like when she says, it's the holidays. We're all miserable. Like, I love the holidays, don't get me wrong, but as a woman, it's a little different than, like, what men go through, because we're the ones that, like, if you're married or have in a relationship.
Fate's referencing to me because she's throwing stones. She's throwing some shade. It's because...
No, I think it's all women, though,
because she has to buy every single one of the Christmas gifts for both of our families, and I'm not a great shopper, because if it came down to me... everybody's getting her gift cards.
Because he's not thoughtful. And I feel like women are more thoughtful. Like, just like your dad, they give us gifts, but, it comes from... Diana. And my sister, like, she buys gifts. It's not coming from her significant other,
That is true.
So I think it's a little bit more stressful for us because of the cooking and then the decorating and then so it's a little bit more, but I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it, but it gets a little stressful. So I really related to that.
Yeah, that one line.
Yeah,
because she's there. Because she's in there. The second she lights a cigarette, and her mother in the other room is like,
"Are you smoking?
Are you smoking again?" No, Mom. Like even at like a 30-something-year-old woman with two kids, like she can't smoke in her own house because her mother's gonna say something.
Yeah. And then they just like kind of show up way too early.
Oh my God! Imagine that. I don't want to spend fucking 6 hours with my family. You want to spend almost like a week, like with them in your house, taking your beds and like complaining the whole time.
Yeah, no.
I hope when I get old, I don't want to be a complainer, but I feel like it's inevitable.
Okay, so then we have a Christmas Vacation on top.
Yep, that's
for right now. So the next one was Home Alone.
Ooh.
Scrooge.
Well, for me, Scrooge or Scrooged?
Scrooge.
It's got to be Scrooge for me.
Okay.
You didn't tell us what you were taking.
Oh, I'm taking Christmas Vacation.
Okay. All right,
and this one, I'm taking Home Alone. But let's dive into that a little bit. Like,
well, okay. I knew when we first met that you loved Home Alone more than most Christmas. It was Christmas.
It's probably top 5 for me.
Yeah, you love Home Alone. And I understand. Home Alone is a classic. Now, I've grown to love Home Alone more since I've been with you. It never was my favorite growing up until I kind of started. Like, I had Home Alone on VHS, but really, we watched Home Alone 2 more, which is weird. So,
well, I think when you got older, like watching Home Alone, the uncle's comments.
Oh my God! Was his name Uncle Frank?
Uncle Frank.
Uncle Frank's a dick. Yeah. He grabs the pizza. Oh, this is my brother's house. Then he grabs it and brings it in there.
Or like Home Alone 2. I wouldn't want to ruin your Christmas, Mr. Cheapskate.
Mr. Cheapskate.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's just...
what separates Home Alone from Scrooge is the third act of both Home Alone and Home Alone 2, where, like, they're breaking in and just all the gags of, like, all the slapstick of, like, the paint can coming and blasting him in the face.
Yeah.
Or, Harry, why are you dressed like a chicken? Why'd you take your shoes off?
But with Scrooge, he's like stapled the antlers on him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hurt this little fella.
I know, I felt bad for that guy. He really cares about the animals.
This guy's telling you to staple antlers on the fucking... Oh my God.
Frank Cross is a dick, but Bill Murray plays that role perfectly.
Yeah.
He is perfect for that because, especially in the early third of the movie, like how he really is a dick. When he steals that taxi cab from that old lady, bye, Grandma. bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, what an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
this guy he has all the money in the world, but
He
he's not...
throws it out, too, their award. He just,
He
like,
leaves it in the car.
Yeah, he just tosses it away like it's nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't care, even though he said it was the biggest honor of his life.
All right, so for you, this is all you. So I'm going to do Christmas Vacation now is off. Scrooge is off.
Yeah.
Now the next one is Elf or Bad Santa.
Bad Santa.
Bad Santa. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, like I love Elf.
I mean, I love Elf. That's hard, but I think I'll take Bad Santa over Elf.
Bad Santa is a movie
At my age.
I
Back in the day, I think it would have been Elf. As a grown up, I think it's Bad Santa. Are you fucking with me?
That's the best.
God damn it, are you fucking with me?
It's like he's got the rag over his, I don't just call him like Bub or whatever. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Or like,
He gets so upset.
Yeah, or John Ritter is great too. He said, yeah, I heard him in the Big and Tall. He said, yeah, you're not gonna SHIT right for a week. Are you trying to say there's something wrong with my fuck stick?
Fucking shit! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
I love that.
Billy Bob Thornton is like just perfect at that. He's such a he's a bum. Like he's just a drunk. Like I love it.
Okay, so since those were your three favorites, now let's do Christmas Vacation, because that was the last
Oh,
one.
you want me to put Scrooge against Christmas Vacation now? I'm gonna still go Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Christmas Vacation, and honestly, I think Christmas Vacation out of the movies that probably is the mountaintop. I'd still say It's a Wonderful Life is the best Christmas movie ever made. But one thing that's crazy about It's a Wonderful Life is that it didn't become a hit until the 1970s. Like, to the point that the studio that owned it, because the studio that owned it went out of business because it was a failure, even though it got Academy Award nominations. So it ended up in the public domain. You know what the public domain is? So anyone could, put it out on their network, make VHS, Blu-ray, DVD copies. So they just aired it every year a bunch of times because it was free, and then it finally caught on. But I don't know how it just didn't at the time. It's like it's an incredible film. But yes, Christmas Vacation is just absolutely hysterical.
All right, so then now we would do Christmas Vacation, Bad Santa, Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, it's still Christmas Vacation. Now the thing is that these are both just hysterical movies, and Bad Santa's a dark comedy. Like there's some mean jokes in there, but they are just really funny.
I love when he puts like medicine in the advent calendar.
After he destroyed it the night before in
yeah.
a drunken stupor. He's like, they all can't be winners. I think one of them was checkers. Like,
like what is like really poor kid.
the poor kid, yeah. His dad's in jail. He's with his grandma who
I know
does...
someone that looks like that kid.
Oh, I know a couple people.
We know
A lady that looks like it, yeah. Has the same haircut. I mean...
Oh my God.
It's a beautiful haircut. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't.
How
The
much you have?
shorts that he wears, like
Oh,
the
my
tight
God.
poor kid.
Yeah, I know. And his grandma doesn't even realize he's there.
Yeah.
I'll fix you some sandwiches.
That's it. That's all she said.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a great one. Good
But-
this or that this
all
week,
right,
Faith.
good.
Good, yeah. So, like we said, not too much news, but we do have really good questions and some really good questions that we can have some good conversations about. We're going to start that off this week with Rico Gomez's question because he asked us both specifically, here's a question for you and Faith. With 2023 just about over and Disney having had a bad year, if Disney got a new CEO and they appointed you in 2024 to be in charge of Marvel Division and Star Wars Division, what will you guys do to turn things around?
You want me to go first?
Well, I just want to give a little background. So Disney this year, this is the first time, I believe, since I want to say 2009, I can't remember what the date was, that they didn't have a $1 billion film. And more recently, the Marvels and Wish both bombed at the box office, way below expectations. The Marvels won't even make $100 million domestically. It didn't deserve that. That wasn't that bad of a movie. But, without promotion, and what I feel like has hurt the Disney brand more than anything is the watering down of the product. Essentially, Disney used to feel like, and the MCU especially, it felt like when you went to go see an MCU movie in the movie theaters, it was an event. Like, they only got a couple of them a year. Everybody went out. It's the next step in this long-running saga. That was the thing that the MCU was this connected universe. And then when they, leaned into Disney Plus as being like, that's it, the be-all, end-all, I really think that they watered down the Marvel product with the amount of TV shows they put on it. That just did not reach the same quality of the films. And I became just more and more frustrated to the point that I didn't even pay attention to the TV shows anymore. I still would go see the movies, but, I'd have to watch catch-up videos because, again, now the TV shows are connected. It's just too much of an investment and you kind of just took away the specialty of it all. So and I feel like that's just how Disney has been going forward. So, and then Wish, like Disney animation, that's what Disney's probably most known for, is their animated films. And from what I didn't see Wish yet, but from what I've heard, it just feels like a generic Disney film. Now, I've heard mixed things on it. I'll eventually check it out for myself. I'm sure it's still pretty good quality, but the Disney name has definitely taken a pretty big hit over the last year. I'd say this is probably one of their worst years in a very long time, but it's not just them. All the big studios, like we could be seeing the collapse of the studio system in Hollywood right now just because you have bad CEOs in charge of these companies that are not looking out for the people working under them. They're just looking out for the bottom line. We see with David Zaslav at Warner Brothers or, Discovery Warner over there, and they're just making terrible decisions. Like they're dropping Looney Tunes, like the shorts now from Max. Warner Brothers is probably most known for for the Looney Tunes. Back in the 90s, I remember specifically Bugs Bunny, like most children's movies that they would come out with, he'd be leaning up against the Warner Brothers logo, taking a bite of the carrot. So you knew that the Looney Tunes...
Like when those things would drop on the character's head, it would have Warner Brothers on it.
Yeah.
It would have, yeah.
Like how many times have you seen Daffy Duck and like coming out of the Warner Brothers logo? It's just like, it feels like you put somebody in charge who doesn't actually know what your company's history is. And I get it. Money rules the world and everything's a business, but these are art forms and you're ruining it. But anyway, back to the question. No. But let me hear your thoughts first.
Well, I would think if I was the CEO, I would go back to basics.
Okay.
Making a good quality film. Whatever that would be, if it's animation or if it's, Marvel, but a good quality film. Put the money behind the film and push it. Stop oversaturating everything, because that I feel like is not giving us the same feel that we felt when we went to go see Black Panther, or when we went to go see Endgame. Like those movies, you had that feeling when you went to go see the first Star Wars movie that recently came out in 2017, right?
No, it was 2015 with The Force Awakens. And that was a big deal for me and you. Remember?
Me and you, we had our Christmas sweaters. We were ready to go. It was exciting. And, we did see a few of those this year, I will say.
Well, we had a great weekend with Barbenheimer.
But it was not Disney. But even the Taylor Swift, you see the kids dressing up.
Yes.
So that's what an experience should be. That's what I think of a movie experience. Not every movie, obviously, but, when you go see a movie like Barbie, you should get back to that. I think that's what Disney needs. I think they need to make the viewer feel special.
I agree. You can't just keep releasing movies over and over again. Like, especially with Star Wars and Marvel, it's a big deal for those. Those are huge names, and you guys, you devalued them. Especially, like, Star Wars is just not the same.
The exact word. You devalued.
Yeah, like, Marvel, I still believe that, what's his name? I still believe in Kevin Feige. I believe that he will right the ship. Star Wars with Kathleen Kennedy and everything over there, I feel like they're in a way worse place, but I think that they're finally learning. Bob Iger did say that they're going to concentrate more now on, like you just said, quality over quantity. We kind of live in the content era where people just want more and more and more. But you got to build an anticipation. Like we lost that. I just remember being a kid, even with video games, like building an anticipation, like, oh, it comes out in a month. Like, that's very rewarding. Everyone just wants everything right away. And, there's not really any fun in that. Like, you brought it up, when we went and saw Infinity War, like, that was such a huge experience. And then we knew at the end of that movie, that cliffhanger, we had to wait 1 full year. And there was only one Marvel movie that came out between those two, and that was Captain Marvel. So that was it. You had to build that anticipation. And look, it worked. Endgame is the biggest moneymaker of all time.
I think it started with Black Widow. I think Black Widow, because of COVID, we didn't need that movie then.
No.
We didn't need it at all at that moment. That could have been in the last stage.
I think it was supposed to be in phase... It would have worked in phase 2.
Now, if they use that movie now, and while we go into the next phase of what's going on with Marvel now, then that's cool. But what was the point of that movie?
There really was no point, other than to, obviously Scarlett Johansson, she deserves that big send-off because she was one of the original of the MCU, one of the original Avengers, and people love Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, but when you think...
But the movie itself, it doesn't
You
work.
deserve but so many people, Captain America,
Yeah.
and, you know, but I guess because she didn't have her own, like,
She never got her own
thing,
chance. Yeah. And you got
And like Hawkeye did.
Well, Hawkeye eventually got a show.
Yeah, so I get that.
You know, everybody else had their own solo stuff from the original Avengers. It felt like Scarlett Johansson and Hawkeye, what's his name, Jeremy Renner, they kind of felt like, yes, they were part of the Avengers, but they kind of felt like a little bit of a step down, mainly because they didn't have superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were just really good at their jobs. I mean, Iron Man doesn't have superpowers, unless, you know, money is a superpower.
Well, technically, yeah.
I mean, look at the world we live in. These people don't have they don't have to follow the same rules we live.
He can build anything he wants, really.
And he had a good, you know, he had to learn his lesson. He had a good heart. What Disney needs to really do with those two brands is just build anticipation. Don't put out a Star Wars show. Don't put out a Marvel show for a little while. I mean, I understand you put all your eggs in the Disney Plus basket, but
Let people miss you a little bit.
Exactly. That's the perfect way to do it. You know, it's the same thing like when you're with your significant other. If you were with them all the time, you know, they're going to start getting under your skin and pissing you off where you're like, I need a fucking break from you. So it's like, you know, build that anticipation of seeing them again. We want to build that anticipation to a new Star Wars movie or a new Marvel movie. Like, let's take a break. Hopefully they have learned that, you know, we need to slow it down a little bit. A couple of years, fine. You know, that's it. We don't need too much, you know, and get the right creative people behind this.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it's a business. Money is a real thing, but still, you're hurting your overall brand by doing what you're doing. And people love these movies. Yes, Disney is a corporation, and sometimes it can be hard to support corporations, but the Disney name still carries so much value. It's a huge part of my childhood. I know it's a huge part of Faith's childhood.
Yeah.
It's probably a huge part of all of your childhood as well. And, you know, I don't want to see that company fail, but I also don't want them to keep treating their employees and, you know, treating the consumers the way that they do. But it's a worldwide problem. It's not just a Disney problem. That was a great question, Rika. I hope we answered it pretty well. Thank you so much, buddy. And this is going to be a question that's really just for me, but you want to hand me those movies over there? And this is from Kevin Kruger, one of our directors, and the rest of the questions are from him. And he asks, what are your favorite physical media packaging for 2023? I grabbed a couple that I thought really stood out to me. This one, I think the packaging is what stood out because the 4K that's in here is not the greatest, but this slipcover, feel that, Faith. It's got like a suede kind of feeling to it. I don't even know how to describe it,
And
but
it's cool.
It's beautiful, yeah. And then you got different artwork underneath. It is reversible. So Arrow Video did this. I've only seen a couple come with this kind of slipcover, this and Flatliners, and I think Bride of Reanimator. I can't remember. Somebody else told me there was another one that had this type of slipcover. I love it. Whenever they come out with this type of slipcover, personally, I always want to grab it. So this was a really nice one. And then over here, this is really still in the running for my favorite 4K of 2023. I don't think if Oppenheimer came out, this might have won it. But Thelma and Louise from the Criterion Collection, I love this 4K in general, but the packaging is also phenomenal. I mean, really good stuff here. Look at the disc design. I mean, they really sprung for the bells and whistles on this one. Criterion didn't give us too many digibooks this year, which was surprising because they usually like to break out the fine china whenever they can, but they really didn't this year too much. But Thelma and Louise, that is one of them. One of Ridley Scott's best. Ridley Scott in the news right now for Napoleon. Me and Faith saw that. You guys saw my review on that, but Faith is a historian, so real quick before we show you my third one, I want to know what you thought of Napoleon, like, because a battle came on in the movie, and I wasn't too familiar with it, but Faith was, like, pumped up for it. She was like, I can't wait. She's like, wait till you see what happens. And I feel like you were a little let down by that.
No, I thought it was awesome. I love I mean, I was a little, because it wasn't that long, that scene.
Yeah.
So, like, but when he's like, okay, now you're shooting, go shoot at them with their, what are those, the cannons?
The cannons. Like, he's, like, telling them to hold.
Like, what I didn't like about the movie, I liked the movie. Don't get me wrong. I really loved the movie. I love how they made him look like a human being and come off as a human being with his love for Josephine.
Yes.
I think that was really what the movie was about. It was about trying to, because everybody thinks of Napoleon as this short, angry man, and yes, in a way he was, but he was just fighting for his country. That was his job.
At least in his mind.
In his mind, no, but this was his job.
Yeah.
And he had just such arrogance about him a little bit. That's what I feel.
That's where the Napoleon complex comes from.
Was his downfall, but he just was a genius. When you really study his brain and like how he looked at battles.
Oh, when it comes to battles, that's why he's
his downfall was Russia. I don't know if people know about Napoleon, but his downfall was Russia. If he would have just went and left and went home,
instead of like forcing
of forcing the people that he had to wait the Russian winter out, which they weren't capable of doing, causing so many people to die, I think what we would know about Napoleon would be totally different than what we know about today.
Now, were you offended by like, because they definitely took some leaps into like, you know, obviously this stuff didn't really happen and like stuff that wasn't like, did it bother you that like they kind of like glossed over certain stuff or didn't really pay too much attention to it? They didn't just really concentrate on the Napoleon-Josephine relationship more than like the actual historic
No,
events?
that didn't bother me because people don't know that about him.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people, well, they know about the letters because they were sold, but people, like I said, his reputation was not of a kind man. And when you read those letters, that shows totally otherwise.
He cared about at least one person.
And I think people don't realize your job is your job, and you're fighting to keep your job. So what will you do to keep your job?
That's a good point.
That's just how I feel. What everyone knows compared to what the movie showed, it kind of showed you a softer side. And I don't know, that was probably what they were going for because we know, like I said, we know him as an angry little man.
Mm-hmm. And he was 5'7", so he was actually taller than me. Which is ridiculous. He's an angry little man. What am I then? And then number one on my best of the year so far as packaging is this Psycho 4K Blu-ray box set. I mean, first of all, when I first saw this, I didn't think it was going to look this nice. I really didn't like this plastic outline, the shower curtain thing. But then really, when you take it off, it's got that nice Arrow Video hardcover. It's got all the movies in their individual packaging, big packaging
I like
as well.
the color.
The colors, yeah, the red, right? Yeah, well, Fate's colorblind, so you know it's red, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just absolutely...
No, I like the colors in here.
Oh, the colors on the binds? Yeah. I love it. I really think they did a phenomenal job with this. Definitely right now, I'd be surprised if anything beats it. Although I didn't get that Titanic Collector's Edition 4K set, but I've heard good things from people. Other than that, how they put the discs in. I just got the standard edition because, I mean, I like Titanic, but I don't love Titanic. I love it when they hit the iceberg.
Anything before.
Yeah. Hate me like one of your French girls, Jack.
I like the movie.
I know. Are you going to watch it with me this week?
Are you watching it this week? Oh, I don't know.
Right.
That's a long movie.
I know. I'm going to be up really late. I got to... But on to our next question. Thank you so much, Kevin, for that one. And this one is, what is your favorite scene from the following movies? Home Alone. Oh. What's your favorite scene from Home Alone?
There's so many good scenes. I think you said it earlier. Why you dress like a chicken?
Why the hell did you take your shoes off?
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
Chicken. I love that. Or he's like, we're just gonna wait out here and no, we'll come back. He's like, it's gonna be dark. The kids are scared of the dark. So you're scared of the dark, and he smacks him.
Yeah.
Or at the end when he goes, don't forget, it's the wet band.
And he
it's
starts
W-E-T. Shut up, Mom! And he hits him over the head.
That's my favorite, actually. When he's like, we're the Wet Bandits. W-E-T. Shut up, Mom! Just kicking him in the blue.
And then when he puts the paper towels in the sink to clog it up, like just cause a whatever.
You did it again, didn't you?
Like,
all the greats have their trademarks.
You got that stupid face on.
What about the Santa Claus? I think I know what yours is, but if you don't say it, I'm going to say it.
The sweater?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. He's like...
Boy, you got more important things to worry about, Like where are you going to get more sweaters after the circus pulls out of town?
You were right about the sweater. I love that.
I mean, that movie's just filled with so many elves with attitude.
That's my guy.
And can we just settle this now? When are we going to get the hot cocoa from this movie?
I know. What does he say? What was the recipe?
I don't know what she said, but
shaken, not stirred.
It was like something with the chocolate. I can't remember, but she explains it. But it took her like hundreds of years to perfect the recipe.
We need that.
I know. What about Elf? There are so many great fun. Elf is like, I'm not really too big on the plot. This is why
I love when he gets drunk in the mailroom.
Oh my God, that is great. He starts dancing with the other guy. And the other guy who said he's like 20-something years old and he's clearly like 45.
He's 45. He was like, I'm 29 with nothing to show for it. And I'm like, wait, what?
29? How about 49? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, you weren't going to know.
If you're 29, there's a lot of miles on that body.
But that's like when we were younger, we would see things like that. We're like, oh, that's what you look like at 29.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what we thought.
We thought about with the high school kids in shows. Like, we're like, oh, is that what I'm going to look like when I'm a senior in high school? It's like, no, that's what I'm going to look like when I'm 27. Like, that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, but Elle, for me, my favorite scene, I mean, the mailroom scene is great, but I love it when he first, like, shows up to his dad, and, like, he does the guy thinks he's, what do they call those? Like, the people who come and give,
telegram. Like a singing telegram.
He's like, you look like you just came from the North Pole, and he's like,
That's exactly where I came from. Santa must have called you.
and
I'm
he's like,
singing.
I'm singing, and I'm here with my dad, and I'm singing, and I love you. Like,
But that Donald Faison, is that his name? Faison. No, it's not.
Frankie Faison.
Frankie Faison.
the code word is, Santa's got a brand new bag.
In the place? It's pretty good. It's a little too good. Corporate must have sent in a professional.
If someone's trying to show me up, I love that. Frankie Faison is great.
That's it. Donald is the one from Clueless.
Ah, Donald Faison, yes, from also from Scrubs.
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation. This is really hard because we quote the whole movie, but it's got to be an Uncle Eddie scene, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Clark, isn't this a surprise? And then he hands him the list. I took the liberty of labeling them all in alphabetical order. Hey, you know what? Why don't you throw something on there for yourself? Something real nice.
I said that's Camilla when we were over there for Thanksgiving. I'm like, that's going to be real nice. And she starts cracking up.
Yeah, we say that line. I mean, that's got to be. I also love Uncle Eddie at the dinner table and how Clark comes in. He's like, you know, kids, I just heard on the radio that they saw Santa's sleigh over like Chicago or something like that. And then Uncle Eddie looks over.
You serious, Clark?
I saw a shirt that said, "Are you serious, Clark?"
And Chevy Chase looks at him like, an idiot? Like, what are you talking about?
I can't say that. Are you an idiot? And then the next one was It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life, easily, because it's the one that makes me cry every single year.
I love what he says. I passed away in these clothes.
Yeah.
And the guy's taking a sip, and he's like...
I do love that guy's getting just so more and more confused by the whole thing going on. He's like going to spit, and he's like, what are you talking about?
And we always say,
well, that's it. The two of you, get out of here. You're either going through the door or out the window. Martini's Bar. What was his name? I don't remember what the other guy's name is.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But that is a great one. But for me, it's always at the end.
To my big brother George, the richest man in town.
I'll cry
When
every
you
year.
feel down, that movie
will pick you up. Because
up.
the whole movie is about appreciating what you have, not what you didn't get. And that's why it stood the test of time. That's why it got better, because everyone could appreciate that. Krampus. I actually haven't seen this one in years, but I just remember...
I've seen it. I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
We watched it with your sister that one year.
So I don't really remember it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give a skip on that one, too, because I would be wrong. We just watched this one 2 days ago, Die Hard, and I think I know what your choice is on this. Is when he's looking out the window after the car fucking goes out and he's shooting at them.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. No, I love when he goes, he's like, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, now I have a machine gun.
Oh, yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
Paul. And I think I was talking to you, like, for me, as great as Bruce Willis is in this movie, but what keeps me coming back, Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman keeps me coming back.
I was going to say Hans Zimmer.
Oh, well, I mean, Hans Zimmer is a composer, but no, Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber.
Like him, he is one of the greatest movie villains of all time. Like his facial expressions, like how he's gonna kill that freaking cokehead and and then Bruce Willis knows that he's just picking up the gun.
Oh, we have actually a disagreement of who his better role.
Oh yeah, let me ask you guys.
Yeah, comment in the bottom if you think his role in Harry Potter was better than Die Hard or vice versa.
Yeah, what do you guys like more? Do you like Hans Gruber or do you like
Harry
Snape?
Potter.
I know
Snape is amazing.
But no, Hans Gruber is one of the greatest, if not the greatest movie villain of all time.
I think
you're just nothing more than a common thief. I am an exceptional thief, Mrs. McLean.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That gets me. And then here's one I also haven't seen since I saw it in the movies. Black Christmas 2006. I haven't seen that. I rewatched the original last year, phenomenal. And then the 2019 one's actually not too bad either. But I really don't remember the 06 one, but I don't remember loving it. Next one is Gremlins. So
Gremlins.
Gremlins for me, it's
I just love that. I love the main
the Gremlins.
one.
Oh, you love the Mogwai.
No, I love
the Gizmo.
I love Gizmo.
Yeah, Gizmo's great.
He just looks sad because they're being bad.
Me and Gizmo have the same set of rules. I'm not allowed around bright lights. I can't eat after midnight. And if you get water on me, I'm going to get upset. But I won't have eggs attacked and I turn into the worst freaking animal in the world. But there's so many. My favorite scene that was just all the Gremlins in the bar drinking and
smoking.
And she's trying to like get to all them like she's still being a bartender. I love that. But I also like when the old lady flies out the window.
Oh well,
she's the worst because
she was the worst.
Oh my heart.
Oh yeah, I know.
Terrible. Treats dogs horrible.
I hate her.
Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, the first Silent Night, Deadly Night is pretty good. But
I didn't see
the second one with
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
that is the best scene in the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies because that guy literally had a documentary made about him, and I think that's like the only movie he was ever in. So that is a classic scene. And then last one is Scrooged. What do you have a favorite?
Oh, Scrooge, there's so much. Oh, when he says, he's like, what do you think she was wearing black all the whole time? I don't know. I thought it was a fashion thing.
He just like blew it completely off. I don't know what my favorite. I mean, I really like the end of Scrooge. Actually, I love the whole thing when he's in front of the TV. It makes you feel really good, like and then how it kind of goes into the closing credits and like. It's kind of the first one of the older movies with a post-credit scene because he's through the whole credits talking to the audience.
Yeah.
So I really love the end of that movie and the song they sang. We can make the world a better place. Yeah,
and then you see all the ghosts dancing.
Yeah, like everything. I think that the end of Scrooge really works. I mean, everything leading up to it is hysterical as well. Great question, Kevin. What are some releases that you would have liked to have gotten, but you thought they were too expensive, or you waited too long and they went out of print? So this is a physical media question, so you might not be too interested. But for me, the ones that really got away were, and I was going to ask for this for Christmas this year, but even on sale, it was still $150. The Ingmar Bergman collection from the Criterion Collection that has all... Because I didn't want to make you buy it. Because it had all of his movies, every single one of them in this big Criterion box set. Same thing with the Wong Kar-wai collection. Like, those are the two big collections that I would really love to eventually have in my Criterion collection, but they're just so expensive and it's really hard to justify it. But one day I would love to have those. And, same thing with, like, the Columbia Classics Volume 3. I never got it because it was always, like, even if it would have dropped to, like, $65. It's still hard to justify just because I don't really like the movies in it, but I have 1 and 2, and 4 is coming out in February, and I'll get the 4th, but the 3rd one just didn't have the movies for me, and I still want it just to complete the collection. So for me, Kevin, those are the ones that really just got away because of how expensive they were. I mean, things that have gone out of print, I try and make sure that doesn't happen to me, but there are a couple Blu-rays that I would really want. I want Dutch and Free Willy. Free Willy is like impossible to get on Blu-ray right now, which is crazy. And, I get it. Free Willy's not a movie for everybody. If you grew up in the 90s, it's just a kid and his dog movie, except it's a kid and his whale. and I love it. I mean, I watched that movie 1,000 times when I was a kid. The Michael Jackson song
me too.
is phenomenal. I mean, that's probably his best song. Nah, it's probably not better than Human Nature, but it's a great song.
There's a lot of good Michael Jackson.
There is a lot of good Michael Jackson songs. So yeah, that was a great question too, Kevin. And we'll answer your last question next week, buddy, just because we're running a little short on time. We're actually going out right now to go see Silent Night. So you guys have already seen that review, but we're going to up the block over here. We're going to go check that one out. I saw last night, I also saw Dream Scenario, and we're going to watch tonight. Also to be reviewed May, December. So a lot of good reviews coming up here on the channel. So make sure you guys are subscribed. And if you guys want to become a channel member like our two directors, Kevin Kruger and Frank Rodriguez, or our channel producers, Jason Martin and John Doe Juggalo, you guys can join the ranks with them. Click that join button or click the link in the description below and pick a tier that's best for you. You can even join the Friends of the Channel tier. It's only about $2.99 a month, and we do giveaways here on the channel for our channel members. So make sure you guys are subscribed or join those as well. And it's no pressure at all. The best way to just keep supporting this channel is just simply liking the video, subscribing to the channel, getting out in those streets, and telling your friends about us. And we will be seeing you around.